Get ready to hear the truth about America. A news show that isn't allergic to the facts. The Bold Conservative. And now, here is your host, James Ledbetter.
Good afternoon, all of my bold conservatives out there. We have a show in store for you today. First, we're going to be talking about how the Democrats have decided to praise this Antifa terrorist, Willem van Spronsen, as a hero, which is ludicrous. Then we're going to be talking about how Trump won against these four Democrats, freshman Democrats that call themselves the Squad. But first, take a minute to consider our sponsors, Bluehost. Bluehost website hosting is one of the top recommended WordPress providers by WordPress.org. Enjoy hassle-free WordPress installation on all accounts. Or you can choose one of their beautifully pre-built templates to get started. Trained in-house experts are there to help 24/7. Their robust help center includes guides, video tutorials, and more. Try Bluehost and love them, or get a refund within 30 days of signing up. Not too many website hosts can actually say that. Your satisfaction is their top priority. Also, get access to marketing tools, services, and paid ad credits to boost your website's global reach. Get a special deal today of only $3.95 per month when you visit them at bluehost.com/track/theboldconservative. The link will be in the description below. Get your beautiful website hosted today. All right. First, we're going to talk about how one of the top Democrat activists, Sean King, who also calls himself a pastor, praises Antifa terrorist Willem van Spronsen as a hero, compares him to abolitionist John Brown. Now, keep in mind, Willem van Spronsen was an Antifa member, and he tried to blow up one of the migrant centers. He tried to blow it up with the migrants inside, with the border patrol inside. So this is an activist. This is a terrorist. This is somebody who was going to destroy hundreds of lives. He was going to destroy the migrants, and he was going to destroy the children, and he was going to destroy everybody inside the facility. Now, he was shot down by police because he was throwing cocktail bombs at propane tanks outside the facility. Now, as usual, the left praises this guy. They praise this terrorist, this Antifa terrorist. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The government needs to deem Antifa a terrorist organization and start taking action against them now. Because it's one thing to be an activist. I have no problem with people protesting in the streets. I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I do, however, have a problem with an organization that throws milkshakes laced with acidic quick dry cement at people they disagree with. I do have a problem with an organization that throws cocktail bombs and tries to blow up buildings because they don't agree with what's going on. Now, it is completely lawful for these facilities to exist. There's nothing against the law about these facilities. We have to keep them somewhere. So where do we keep them? We keep them in these facilities. Now, Sean King, he's under fire by a lot of people on Twitter because he literally praised this guy. He compares him to a abolitionist John Brown, the man killed in Saturday's terror attack on an ICE contract detention facility in Tacoma, Washington, was identified this weekend as Willem Van Spronsen. Van Spronsen had a history of attacking police at the protest at the facility a year ago. Antifa activists are claiming the attacker as one of their own, of course. In fact, Antifa terrorists cheered the crazed leftist and his attempt to bomb an ICE holding center. So it's not only Antifa, it is also most people on the left. And you'll be surprised at who refuses to condemn this attack. Like many lunatics before a killing spree, like many lunatics, William Van Spronsen left a manifesto after his death, and he titled it, "It's Going Down." Following the Antifa terror attack, prominent white Black Lives Matter activist Sean King cheered the terrorist. King is a writer in residence at Harvard Law School. Keep that in mind. Remember that. He is a writer in residence. He is in residence at a law school. Harvard Law, one of the best law schools in the country. And he's part of the Fair Punishment Project. So, this message is to all the Democrats listening right now. Is it a fair punishment to try to blow up people because you don't agree with what they believe in? That's nothing short of what ISIS was doing in the Middle East. I mean, come on, people. Sean King praised Van Spronsen as a martyr and insisted he was not a terrorist or a crazy man. I'm sorry, folks, but anybody that tries to blow up a building that because they don't agree with what's going on is a crazy man, is in fact a terrorist. And sadly, folks, and the scary thing is Sean King is a leading voice on the left. On Twitter, he has over 1 million followers that listen to every word he says and does whatever he says they need to do. Now, keep this in mind. We had to take a screenshot because either the tweet was deleted or Sean King has me blocked, or one of the two. But William Van Spronsen, this is what Sean King tweeted, and I quote: Willem Van Spronsen just became the first martyr attempting to liberate imprisoned refugees from a for-profit detention center in Tacoma, Washington. His hero was John Brown, the white abolitionist who led the raid on Harper's Ferry in 1859. This is what our country has come to, folks. This is what our country has come to. Sean King not only claims, see, this is why Christians get a bad name, because Sean King claims to be a Christian pastor. Keep that in mind. Remember this and understand what I'm trying to say. You have these crazy people like Sean King claiming to be a Christian pastor. So then when push comes to shove, and this Sean King finally gets, if he gets condemned by the left, everybody will be pointing out, but he's a Christian pastor. This is what Christian pastors believe. No, that's what Sean King believes. He is alone. He is alone. He is not a Christian, and he's not a true pastor, period. So then Sean King followed up that tweet with another one where he said, "We are told that this is the final letter of Willem van Spronsen, who was shot and killed by law enforcement as he attempted an attack on a for-profit refugee detention center in Tacoma, Washington." Then Sean King goes to call it, "It's a beautiful, painful, devastating letter." He said, I quote, "He wasn't crazy." And then he said, "Inaction is," which means he says, not doing what Willem did is crazy. So he's calling what Willem did beautiful, poetic, unbelievable. And he has so many followers. Then he followed that tweet by saying this: "This is where Willem was murdered this weekend. His actions will be called terrorism, and people will call him crazy, but neither are true. His mind was very clear. He is now arm in arm with John Brown." Then he says these camps must be shut down. Okay, so we shut down all of these detention centers. What are we to do with all the migrants that are jumping and entering our country illegally? They cross these borders illegally. Where do we put them? Do we just turn them loose? Say, "Hey, come on in, and we'll give you free health care." That's what the left is trying to do. That's why so many Democrats don't know who to vote for now. Because everybody that's running, that is on the left, is for open borders. They've made that abundantly clear. They have made that abundantly clear, and it's insane. And that's what so many people are starting to see. People are opening their eyes and understanding that these people are insane. They want to open the borders. They want to keep borders open. They want to offer these people free health care. Anybody in the world that comes to America don't have to pay a health care bill. They don't have to pay a hospital bill. They get free health care. Who's not going to take us up on that promise? So you're going to have so many more people coming over. But that's what they want. That's what they want. And nobody on the left is condemning any of this. As a matter of fact, the four terrorists that call themselves the Squad, which you have Tlaib, you have AOC, you have Elon Omar, and you have the other one. They're all calling for the abolishment of ICE. They're all calling for open borders, and they're all calling for free health care and the elimination of student debt. That's insane. Every one of these things are insane. And this is the best they have. These four are the new voice of the Democratic Party. And that's why so many people are starting to leave the Democratic Party. because they can't take it anymore. Everybody's starting to see that these four are insane. And President Trump was right about telling them, because they all complain about the country and how the country operates. I agree with the president. If anyone hates America and does not like the policies here, they need to pack up and move out of the country. And we're going to talk about that in our second half. But first, consider Gamefly. Consider one of our sponsors, Gamefly. Gamefly puts video games where they belong, in the hands of the gamers who love them. The Gamefly website and mobile app on iPhone, iPad, and Android all make it easier than ever to buy, rent, and play the games you've always loved for less. Gamefly's mission is to provide the most cost-effective and convenient way to play a wide range of console games. Subscribers select titles on their website, receive the video games via first-class mail, and return them to the Gamefly at their earliest convenience using the company's prepaid mailers. Subscription prices range from $15.95 a month for a one game plan. That's one game per month, to $36.95 per month for a four game plan. Subscribers also have the option to purchase a video game they are currently renting through Gamefly's Keep feature. They also sell used console games. Start your free trial at Gamefly and rent games for your favorite gaming platform. The link will be in the description below. Game on. So, that being said, recently, Donald Trump tweeted that if anybody is unhappy with the way the country is being run, if they hate America that much, and he's talking about anybody, and I fully agree with him. If you hate America, nobody's keeping you here. You can buy a plane ticket and go to whatever country you think supports you best, whatever country you would rather go to. So you have people that live in America that hate America, but you have everybody else in the world wanting to come to America. And that's just like Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar came from over there in Africa. She came from a war-torn country full of anarchy and terrorism. She came to our country, and we let her in, and we welcomed her with open arms. So she grows up, and she becomes a congresswoman, and she starts bashing the very country that let her in. She talks about how bad she hates the way things are. Okay, and that's the same way with Rashida Tlaib. Both of these women are Muslims from Muslim countries, and they come here to pursue the American dream, only they badmouth the American dream the whole time they're here. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she completely wants to abolish, all four of them do, but AOC wants to abolish ICE, the Border Patrol. She wants to close down all of the detention centers we use to keep people from roaming the country until we know who they are. She wants to let these people in. She wants to let them in, and they also want to make it legal to cross our borders. She wants to make it legal for anybody to come in, and we won't know who's here. And folks, Southern Command has reported since 2016 that ISIS is coming in with these migrants. So if we don't know who these people are, and we're just letting people in, what's that say for our country? We've lost our sovereignty. Now, every country in the EU across the pond, none of them have any sovereignty because they're one big nation. The EU, the European Union, they have open borders. You can travel anywhere you want. Nobody knows who's traveling. They don't know where they're coming from, and they don't know where they're going. They don't know who's there. And that's really sad. These four freshman Congress ladies, I call them ladies, they call themselves the Squad. Nancy and the Squad lost. They are trying, see, the left has forgotten all about Russian collusion because that's no longer in the cards for them anymore. So now they're pushing anything they can, and they're calling to impeach President Trump. Here's the recent speech that they gave just yesterday, as a matter of fact. Roll that footage.
I will always refer to him as the occupant, as he is only occupying space.
It is time for us to stop allowing this president to make a mockery out of our Constitution. It's time for us to impeach this president.
I am not surprised when the president says that 4 sitting members of Congress should, quote, go back to their own country when he has authorized raids without warrants on thousands of families across this country.
I urge House leadership, many of my colleagues, to take action to impeach this lawless president today.
As you can see, they all four hate America, but most importantly, they hate President Trump. They hate President Trump so bad that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get him impeached. So President Trump said what all of us are thinking. If you don't love America, leave America. Let us be who we are and who we have always been. So Nancy and the Squad lost. They lost completely. They wanted to impeach Trump, so they all got together. And see, the really strange part about this is, within the Democratic Party, there's fighting. You have Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You have them fighting, and you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling Nancy Pelosi racist because Nancy Pelosi is trying to control the Democratic Party. That's what the speaker is supposed to do, is to control their party. And AOC, Tlaib, Omar, Presley, they all want to run the Democratic Party their way. And it seems that they are winning as far as that goes. They're not winning anything but within the Democratic Party. So you have a group of activists that were elected by miracle. These 4 women were elected by some strange miracle. Now they want to reform the Democratic Party into a socialist party. That's what they're going to be called within the next couple of years. Eventually, you're going to start seeing these policies that they're trying to push, these Marxist ideals. You're going to see them start coming out more and more prevalent. And you're going to see the moderate Democrats leaving the Democrat Party and coming right of center. Because to a lot of Democrats, or I'd say ex-Democrats, it just seems that the Conservative Party is starting to align with their values of libertarianism. Everybody wants free rights. Everybody wants women's rights. We don't agree that women should be more important or more prevalent than men. We don't believe men should be more prevalent than women. See, but here's the thing. The only difference you have is conservatives do not believe in abortion. Hey, the gay marriage thing, marry whoever you want. It's none of my business. You're the one that's going to give an account later on. But it's the abortion thing that we have to draw the line. And you have all four of these congresswomen who are for late-term abortion. They believe a woman should be able to murder her baby at any point in her pregnancy, even if they're born. And then they decide that they don't have the money to take care of the baby. She should be able to have the doctors murder her baby. And that's what that's why it's so disingenuous for these women to stand up and say they care about the children. Whose children do they care about? Their concern for children is so disingenuous and hypocritical, because what about American babies? They're not for the life of American babies. They're for the life of immigrant babies. Now, what if these immigrant babies are American citizens? Do they stop caring about them then? See, that's what you have to ask yourself on election day. Do these people really line up with my values and what I believe in? Because everything they say these days is insane. 90% of Americans do not agree with open borders. 90% of Americans do not agree with health care for illegal immigrants. Free for them. It's free for them, but it's not free for the taxpayers and the citizens of this country. Then you have all of these leftist activists saying we won't have free health care for all. And 90% of these people do not have jobs. They do not pay taxes, and they don't have to pay for anything. So it would be free health care for them. It would be free, absolutely free. But who's going to pay for it? The higher taxes that the Democrats are they're trying to raise your taxes so that they can afford to give this free health care to the freeloaders of this nation. These people who sit all day in their mother's basement, and they want to dictate to you how you should pay for their living. You owe them a living, according to them. They want you to pay for their schooling. They want you to pay for their health care. They want you to pay for their food stamps. They want you to pay for everything. They want you to pay for whatever they need to help them live comfortably. But they don't think that they have to work, or they don't think that they should have to work to pay for anything. So think about this for a minute. These four horsemen, these four horse women, I call them the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It's kind of convenient. It kind of lines up. But think about free health care. Okay, you have free health care. That eliminates private companies, insurance companies, where thousands upon thousands of people work. Now these people are out of a job. Then you have free health care. If the government's paying for the health care, then the doctors can no longer charge what they need to pay for medical equipment, to pay their doctors, and to pay for the nurses. So now they have to cut all of that. Now you have less than adequate health care. You have doctors that are willing to work for hardly anything at all. That means the quality of the doctors and the nurses goes down. Then you have the government controlling who lives or dies. They're not going to pay for your grandmother to have extensive surgeries to keep her alive. They're not going to pay for that. So now you have eliminating student debt. Okay, so now you have teachers and college people working for less. So they have to leave and find other jobs to make ends meet. That's what we're looking at. Think about it before you vote for these four. They should be voted out of office, active immediately. Well, that's all the time we have. Tune in tomorrow for an exciting action-packed podcast. I thank you all for listening. Have a great day.